Now, last night,
oh
we
yeah,
had some really bad news.
Yes.
Fire.
Kantamanto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine how the people there are dealing because Christmas is right around the corner.
Yeah.
People are gonna go there to shop. A lot of people want to change their closets, and to hear that whatever it is that you have in stock.
Yeah. No, it's very disturbing because not so long ago we had the Circle fire, and then even yesterday we had a fire in Kufuridua. You know, 3 shops were gutted. That one was clearly a result of an electrical fault.
So they've done with the
they know what the source of the fire was. It was actually, I think it was an explosion, a spark from the transformer near the where the power lines were, and then the fires, the shops that were juxtapositioned towards that transformer then caught fire. So but then this Kantamanto one, it's just just think like you said, people are preparing to try and rake in some income during towards the festive
so many
season.
of them have gone to get new
things, fresh goods, fresh goods and all that. And of course, Liberty Avenue, Ghana Commercial Bank, GCB, it's right next to Kantamanto, and they also just had a fire recently. So it's very, very, very unfortunate. And let's take a look at what happened in Kantamanto.
Abaka kraya kotu ya no ane nwa mani hura ye hura la eto bia fa ni machine kraya kotu ya no ane nwa mani hura ye hura la eti ye ni na ye ni eja no ya ko ye ade ni ye bedi ade ni ye be hwe ye ma obra be ni ye be bo antu o ba bia etu amu be hye ha amu be ka kire o inside etu bia fa ni machine ko fie je say hasio ade ni ye bedi tira aduma be ni ye be ye aduma be ni ye be me brand who of you that who should TV now on a parking me said hold your nyina they done starting by 10 o'clock and the pay you know say they am coffee no you want and shit I started flash here your friend fast nanadu ni yesu plano nanadu ni yesu plano oye papa eti ni yesu no onu anka samra no me hu ye mobo no pa ba bi ma ye fi ya no diane ye mo se ye ma ani ne hi ayen ene hi ayen o mo nanadu mra no me bo ayen no me ba bi tra no me ba bi tra ni ne juma nye ani ne hi ayen ye wo jide wo nu so no be ti ma bo ayen o ma no be ti ma bu ye si no si ye mu ye ye ma si asi ya bata si ye mu ye ye ti asi na bo ayen na ye me ye be mu da na ye ye mu ye ti asi do papa Kantamanto ko do na do me ye bibi ma ye be ye bibi ma ye na do ye be mu na ni o na ni aso ye gwe ye hia o ebuo eri fada die
All right, so that's what happened at Kantamanto last night. The fire started around 10 p.m. According to the reports that we have, and then the fire service got there around about an hour later. They've done everything that they can. The fires are out now, but it's really, 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 really difficult for the people there. And as you can hear already, Jafar, there's conspiracy theories flying around, as in sabotage and all that. But we have to let the police and the fire service do the investigation to know actually what was the cause of the fire, you know. And of course, if it is arson, whoever is responsible has to be found, arrested, and dealt with, you know, appropriately. But fires do happen, and by accident, you know, so it's not out of the ordinary, because you look at the numbers of people that are there. I mean, I haven't been to Kantamanto in a while, but my memories of Kantamanto are such that I remember the close spaces,
it's still very much
very,
packed. It is very
you know,
packed.
and those things are just right.
The inside is actually organized. So when you go into the inside of Kantamanto, you see everyone
their
has
stalls,
their
various
stalls and everything else.
Yeah.
But then there are other people who want to sell on the outside because they want to get the customers first. They don't have the stalls, so they contribute to the whole place looking unorganized. But as they are saying that they're all expecting the president to come to their rescue. We just dealt with the Odona fire. NBSSI was asked to come to their rescue. Thousands of them had gone to take out loans. They talked about not even being able to sell to pay back their loans yet. So NBSSI came to their rescue. Maslock also came to their rescue. Now we have this problem. I have no doubt that NBSSI will come to their rescue, but this is the time for us to take seriously preventive measures. What kind of trainings do we take our traders through that in case you see a fire, A, B, and C are what you are supposed to do to contain the fire immediately before it spreads. If they don't know that, the minute they see fire, they're just going to run and nothing will happen. What are some things that they should not leave outside, especially for those people who don't have their stalls? People who have their own shops can at least pack things, lock up. There are certain materials that probably should not be there. And we need to take this seriously because day in, day out, you just mentioned Koforidua. We've had several in Kumasi as well. Now we have it in Accra. We can't continue to dip into the limited resources we have to save our traders. We know that they are struggling. Most of them are breadwinners of their families. It's Christmas season. They've gone to take out loans. They've probably brought in brand new inventory. So this is devastating. Agreed. We should help them. But moving forward, we need to get to a point where in a span of 1 month, we are not recording all these instances of fires. That means somebody is doing something they are not supposed to be doing. Someone is discovering the fire and not knowing how to contain it. So once we put all these things in place, even if there's a fire, we can start sharing stories about somebody identified the fire, they were able to contain it before the fire services arrived.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you, and I think it's important because the fire service does have a training schedule that they roll out, and they go to different organizations and all of that. When there's a new building, for example, they go there, they do the training, go do the checks first, and then they run training programs for different organizations. But I'm not sure in a market space, as in Kantamanto, exactly what the rollout is and how often they go there, what they do with them. And then also there's the issue for me, the issue of the materials that we use. If you go to Kantamanto, the inside part, almost everybody's stalls are wooden, you know. Now, wood is prime for spreading a fire, you know, so then it means that if we're going to say, okay, continue to use the wood, then we have to be able to stop the fires as soon as they start, you know, so that we don't get the spread. Because apart from that, you're going to now say, okay, so should we build metal tables, whatever, but that's expensive, you know, people may not be able to have the finances to be able to afford all of that, you know, but like I said earlier, Koforidua 2, there was a fire, you know, and let's take a look at what happened with the Koforidua situation.
When the news team arrived at the scene, petty traders who sell close to the street were seen packing their wares to safety. The incident, according to eyewitnesses, started around 10 a.m. and brought trading activities to a standstill. Many patrons who had parked their vehicles by the road were seen racing against time to save their cars. Sensing more danger, the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, quickly switched off power to avert further calamity. The police were also readily at hand to prevent any form of looting by immediately cordoning off the affected area. Items destroyed include electrical materials, perishable goods, toiletries, flammable items such as cooking oil and plastics. Some shop owners who virtually lost everything to the fire were seen openly grieving their loss. Some affected shop owners who spoke to City News appealed to the government to come to their aid to help them bounce back to business. This regional public relations officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, Assistant Divisional Officer 1, Ignatius Kwamena Beidu, said the cause of the fire outbreak could not be established immediately and assured that further investigations would be conducted into the incident.
It seems there had been some attempts to put out the fire before we were called. So we got here, we were able to bring the fire under control. As we speak now, as you can see, the fire is under control. So we are just waiting for everything, all the we are undergoing salvaging right now. So after that, then we'll give you an update.
The New Job South Municipal Chief Executive, Isaac Apaojasi, who visited the scene to ascertain the extent of damage, said the assembly will wait for the outcome of the investigations by the fire service so they act appropriately.
This cannot continue. We have always educated people. Immediately you see glimpses of fire, you need to call the fire service department. It appears a lot of people don't even know the number to call whenever there is fire situations, and that is most unfortunate. Going forward, we would want the fire service to perform their duty first to ascertain what actually happened. What these people are speculating, I think for now we can shelve it, and then let us listen to the report they will come out with. But of course, the second thing is to make sure that we continue to sensitize people about fire service number.
It took firefighters close to an hour to put out the fire completely. Samuel Noglo, an eyewitness who assisted firefighters to douse the fire, appealed to President Akufo-Addo to resource the National Fire Service with new equipment to help them execute their mandate effectively.
In the first place, I'm starting to say me do mujano. Since the bill yet siwa, ni so na I'm starting to say me do mujano. Nana Akufo-Addo, me nim so obet me aye. Ne first start office no. Merciless and come nation in fire service. More than 500. Any equipment.
So that's some traders in Koforidua sharing their terrible experience as victims of a fire outbreak, and we can't stress this enough. If tax collectors are able to go into these markets and take monies from these traders, there's absolutely no reason why we can't educate every single one of them. If it takes just creating a simple pamphlet with just images that they have to look at to know, okay, this is what you do to ensure that you don't catch a fire in your store. Don't put a gas cooker there. Try not to cook inside your shop. You're supposed to be, selling there, not cooking there. Don't put all kinds of electrical cables that have no business being there in your shop. When they understand that, I think that the chances of them also ensuring, proactively engaging in preventing fires will be high, because they are the ones who have lost thousands of cedis to this issue. So if we don't actively engage them and we continue saying, well, there's a lot of people, it's too many people to deal with, it's going to be our burden as a nation, and we don't need to deal with that.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Absolutely. It's look, again, it's really just about the education and insisting on people that break the rules are dealt with. You know, we don't like punishing people in this country. We don't like people to take the fall for things. You know, so you find somebody is lying for somebody because the person is my friend and he's in trouble. So therefore, let's tell lies and say he didn't do it. I was there. I saw. It wasn't him. You know, and so on and so forth. But you see, the message needs to be sent very, very strongly and very clearly that it will not be countenanced. If you see, here's a case where we are looking at the possibility of arson. But in the case of negligence, what about that? Mm-hmm. You see, and for us, usually it's about when the person says, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't know how it happened, then that's it, we let it go. But we need to be able to have, and you see, our laws are amazing. We have all the punitive measures listed in our laws for things like negligence, but we never effect them.
And I also think you can't even go arresting someone, punishing someone when you've not educated them. Do you get me? So the laws are one thing.
But the fire service will tell you that they go around doing education.
You really even know what they're supposed to do in Kantamanto when there's a fire.
Well, that's
I
true.
don't even know. The fact that both of us don't know what a shopper or a trader in Kantamanto should do in case of a fire means that someone is not doing their job. And I'm not saying that we should be blaming anyone. I'm just saying that when you keep recording these cases over and over and over again, then clearly there's a problem. Maybe people don't know what to do. It could be a genuine accident. But hard-working Ghanaians should not pay the price for ignorance. All of us should not pay the price for ignorance. It does not take much to go into these spaces. The same people who go in to take monies from them could be agents. When you go to take their 5 cedis from them, give them this pamphlet. Let them know that if you want to ensure that you are not crying at 10, 11 p.m. when you're supposed to be with your families, do A, B, C, D. If you don't want to wait months for MBSSI to come to your rescue because you've lost thousands of cedis, if you don't want the banks or microfinance companies that loaned you money to come knocking at your door because you've not been able to service your loans, do these things. It will register in their minds. The minute they want to start cooking, forgetting things, they will remember, if I leave this, there might be a fire. If there's a fire, I'm going to lose my inventory. If I lose my inventory, I have nothing to sell. I have no money to service my loans. I would have to pray to God and beg the government to come to my rescue. There's no guarantee that the government will come to my rescue. So the thing I have in my control is to ensure that I don't cook where all these clothes are, that I don't put these electrical cables where these things are. Once we educate every single person enough to a point where a child on the street knows what should you do if you are in a market and you see a fire, and they continue to do these things, then we can arrest them and make examples out of them.
That's very utopian, because if you look at how we do our things, for example, in our system, everybody should be educated within the cluster that they function, right? So we in the building need to understand what's a fire drill, what happens when there's a fire, what do you do, what's the first thing that you should do. It should come as second nature. But if you go to the market spaces, for example, if I don't know what should happen in the marketplace, they should know, even if I don't know.
Yes, but we all shop in these spaces.
We
all, no matter who you are, whether you're a banker, you've been to Kantamanto, you've gone to buy clothes there.
Yes, but this is the thing about the fire service. They go around educating people in the spaces. You will not be there when they go to Kantamanto to educate, right? So what they're going to do is to give basic fire rules to everybody, generally across board. But this thing, I have heard them do it. We've had a couple of PROs come on our set here to come and give us fire tips and advice and so on and so forth. So it's not as if it's not being done. Maybe it's not being done enough.
Yeah,
right?
I have a lot of friends selling in Kantamanto, and they've not told me that they've received such pamphlets. I have a lot of friends selling
the issue of pamphlets also.
Clothing. I have friends selling fabrics. I have friends selling African print stuff at Makola.
Yeah.
Everyone knows run and call for help.
Well, yes.
And that's good.
Yes.
But we need to do more.
Well,
because you just mentioned that there's an hour, there's a 1 hour gap before the
that was just last night's response.
Exactly.
Yes, that was
last night's response. There's also the issue of sometimes the tankers arrive and they're out of water.
Yeah.
What does it take to position some of these water close by in some of these hot spots so that even if it takes 1 hour, there are certain things that the people,
water issue. So then,
there are certain things that the people there can do before the fire service arrives. Just like we have in our offices, the thing that you use to spray. I'm blanking out on the name.
The extinguishers.
Yes, we have extinguishers. So we know that if there's a fire in this studio right now, first step is try to get rid of the fire whilst you're calling. So you're doing that. I'm calling. We are.
But you know, all these market spaces are supposed to have fire extinguishers.
That's my point.
Yeah.
How many do we actually see? And if someone does not have it, do we find them? If we don't, then we can't continue doing the same things and expect that this won't happen.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that for me, it's really, they go hand in hand, you know. And the thing is that we can't educate the entire country before we start punishing, because once we've told you, you're held liable. You know, once we've informed you, like you're saying, extinguishers, for example, all these market spaces are supposed to have extinguishers. They've been told, okay. But again, you have turnover. So new people are coming to the market. Are they aware? Well, it says, so fire service duty bearers, it's absolutely important that we hear from you regarding some of these things that are going on. What is it that is the cause of it? The fire at GCB Towers, for example, what was the issue there? What was the cause of the fire? We need to know some of these things. Kantamanto, what was the, Odona Market, what was the cause of the fire? Okay, we need to see the reports. We need to know what's going on. And then let's not delay too much on some of these things so that we can deal with it quickly and then shut down any conspiracy theories that will come up and so on and so forth, which doesn't help anybody.
And I really hope that MBSSI will come to their rescue, because this
I
is
believe
the worst
they will.
time to lose your
I believe
inventory
they will.
to fire.
I believe they will. Yeah, I believe they will.